Sawadika. May the 2nd. Count that day lost, whose descending sun, fancy, like your sweet tea with your pinky out there, descending sun. How about the setting sun or falling sun, not descending sun, whatever. Find you with no good deeds done. Oh dear. Yeah. Papa not happy if there's no deeds done, no good deeds done when the descending sun. That kind of, you can make a poem out of that or a song, right? When the day is done, the good deeds done, descending sun, little rhyme action for you. Rap, hip hop. Napoleon's doing hip hop now. Awesome. No good deeds done, descending sun. Sorry. It is well known among those who make it a practice to help others that doing a service for another benefits the giver as much as, if not more than, the receiver. Abso-fucking-lutely 1,000%. Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. Did I say yes? By the way, yes. When you do a good deed for someone else, you become a better person. I don't know about that. You're already a pretty good person to do the deeds for somebody else because you kind of get it. Better person. All right, whatever. I'm not going to argue with the man. He's Napoleon Hill. He's the man. He's the shiznit. So, okay, become a better person. Yeah, whatever. The positive effect that your good deed has upon you will endure long after it is forgotten by the recipient. Yeah, once again, yes, absolutely. Long-lasting, bigger, and once again, I've said in the past, and I want to clarify that the good deed that you do is not going to come back to you directly. Like, you don't sit and pray to God for a Mercedes and get it the next day. It doesn't work that way, right? You do good for someone, help someone, give your time, whatever, to someone, and you will receive good things back sometime, somewhere in your life is the way it works. There's not a direct, I give you this, you give me that. It's not an accounting thing with a debit and a credit, right? It's just put good shit out, get good shit back is the way it works, and I'll, whatever, testify to that. It works. It really does work. Good deeds need not be large or costly. The greatest gifts are gifts of your time and yourself. Yeah, absolutely. A kind word or small courtesy will be remembered and appreciated. That's absolutely true. Once again, timely. It's been very interesting to me over these 300 days or whatever the hell I've been doing it. I think I'm 300 and something in the teens now, 310, 315, whatever. How timely or relevant this book is a lot of time. Like when the riots were happening in America last summer, they were talking about, certain behaviors that fit, described what the rioters were doing. And I was amazed, politics, the whole election thing. And so that this is topical in that I had my State of the Union, I called it, where I do a Zoom call with all my agents. We used to have monthly meetings. And we moved into a smaller office just before I moved to Thailand to cut the overhead. And I was comfortable doing that because the less and less of the agents were coming to the meetings. I mean, when we had, 45 to 50 agents, 21, 22 would show up to the monthly meetings, which was a pretty good turnout and made it worth the time. I would have guest speakers bring in lunch. I would train from 9 till lunchtime, have lunch, have the guest speaker talk about whatever. We had inspectors in, we had insurance people in, we had title company people in, reverse mortgage guy, whatever, just speakers, speaking about things relevant to investors or realtors. So that was worth it. 20 people are going to show up, make an effort to come. I'm going to put on a show, right? And over time, it grew smaller and smaller to the point where we had a meeting and 6 agents showed up. Part of that, I think, is that I do a lot of training, on like basics of fundamentals, things that you need to know if you're new to the business. Well, the agents who have been in the business 10 years and been with me for 3 don't want to hear the 5 keys to success: locate prospects, pre-qualify, once they've been taught that, they really don't want to hear that again, especially the next month. But if we brought through 3 new agents on, they need to hear that. They've never heard that. The DISC personality type, taking the test, seeing who you are, learning how to talk to the different personality types. Once you've had that training, once you understand that concept, you really don't need that training again. You're not going to take the assessment. You're not going to change your personality type, 3 months later or 6 months later. It's very rare. If you're a D type, you're a D type. I've been a D type my whole friggin' life, right? So I think that's part of it. It's just the veterans didn't need to hear that same message over and over again. So, they're busy working, producing, the money's made in the street. That's one of the things I taught. So sitting in the office for a half a day, So we went from once a month to once a year. I did a Zoom call last year from Pi, TTK, the restaurant, Mei Hung Sung. And I did it 2 days ago. And the response was a bit of a surprise to me in that people were just happy to see my face. I was talking about some stuff. I covered the numbers from last year. There is an agenda to the meeting. There was a reason for the meeting, but the main feedback was, man, it was good to see Greg again, even like this on a Zoom call. So one of the things I announced in that Zoom meeting is that I am going to be stepping down as the broker in June, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But the main one is I've come to understand exactly what Napoleon said in the paragraph today, that the smile, the courtesy, the touch, the reach out, my main success as a broker was listening to people. I would be in that goddamn office from 7 days a week. Like I said, I used to work 7 days a week, from 9:30, 10 till sometimes 10, not every night, thank God. But most nights, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30 at night. Many, many, many nights, my boy Rob and I walked out in the parking lot, and our 2 cars were the last 2 in the parking lot. That happened more times than I can count. It was dark. It was 10 o'clock at night on a Friday night. Everybody's home eating dinner, watching TV, whatever, hanging with their family. Me and him are shuffling out like zombies because we're fucking exhausted after a 12-hour or 14-hour workday. So that was reality. And as a result of that, my agents always knew they could come to the office. And, whatever, I'm Papa Greg. It was a family more than a business. It really was. So, and not a dysfunctional family where you fight, every Thanksgiving and throw things at each other and can't be together on Christmas because you can't stand each other. Not that kind of family. It was a good family, like the Waltons, like you saw on TV. It was like a TV family. And I was Papa Greg, and they would come and tell me, I've got this situation with real estate, and I would solve it. And then that relationship built to the point where they were comfortable coming to me. One of our agents got a divorce, and he couldn't deal, and he was curled up in a friggin' ball in a fetal position. And I would talk to him and talk to him and talk to him. I put in the hours because I cared about the guy. He wasn't just my agent; he was a friend, and that was genuine. They could tell. And that's how I built up a pretty large group of investors/realtors. It made sense financially to them because I wasn't asking for 50% or 30% like the other brokers were. I gave them a really good deal, and that's what brought them in. But they stayed because we were a family and not a business. And it was a challenge as it grew, for sure. When we were up to 50 agents, it's a lot tougher to be that person to everybody. It was much easier when we had 20 agents, 24 agents. When it grew to 50, it was definitely a challenge, especially because I was flipping, had the Airbnbs, and had the other broker referral network, where you don't have to be on the MLS. So definitely that was, he said, what the hell do you do 12, 14 hours a day in the office? Well, run the flipping, run the Airbnbs, a little bit of time on BRN, not a lot, and the rest was ORC. It was a time sucker for sure, but I loved my people. I was happy to do it. As a broker, my whole thing was, how did I want to be treated as an agent? And that's how I treated my agents, like family. And I always wanted to be treated like family, and I never was. It was a business, and they made me jump through a lot of hoops I didn't need to, and it's a lot of bullshit, and you're there to make the broker money, period. Whereas I made my money from flipping, I didn't need to make my money to pay my bills from my agents. They appreciated the hell out of that. So I did announce there's a new broker coming in, and that lets me get one step closer to why I moved to Thailand, which is to retire. I'm not retired if I'm still answering emails and still dealing with One Realty Corp, issues, and I have been for a year. Not as much as I needed to, and what I found was me being there was the most important part of me being the broker. I'm not going back to the United States. I'm here, kiddies. I'm in Thailand. I'm done. I will die here. This is my place. So I need to put somebody in there who's going to be there every day. And my boy Rob, who's been doing an amazing job while I've been gone, what I'm doing is setting him free. He's been there for me. He's a friend. He's a buddy, so he doesn't mind hooking me up. I've hooked him up in the past. He's hooked me up in the past. And for the last year, anything I needed done, he's done. And something as simple as the day-to-day running of the brokerage, an agent produces, and the title company or attorney won't do the commission disbursement form that I have set up, the system I have set up, so that I don't need to give them a check. They don't have to wait for their check. They get paid when they produce, which is, once again, what I wanted as an agent. I wanted to get paid the day I produced, not a week later when the broker deems to give me my check after the other check is cleared. Fuck that. Just, you get paid the day of closing. I always thought was right. So I set up a paper that I signed saying, okay, they are authorized to get their money, to disperse it to them directly at the title company. Some won't do that. Some title companies won't do that. Builders won't do that. When the closing involves a builder, some attorneys won't do that, whatever. There's just some people who won't play that game even though I'm authorizing it, and through that form. So in that case, there's a live check that comes to the brokerage, and the agent has to come to the office and get a check. Well, that's very important. They did the work, they want to get paid, so Rob facilitates that. Rob's been handling all the banking and stuff for me. It's difficult over here. The online banking's not working. I had to get that done. So really, he's been a godsend and a huge help. But we're a year in. It never was supposed to happen like this. There was supposed to be a broker by fall of last year, and it didn't happen. So here we are into May, and poor Rob is trying to juggle, a personal life, a business life, reaching his goals, and, oh, by the way, running my company and doing shit for me, like sending me Mountain Dew because I can't get it over here. I mean, what the fuck? It's not fair to him to ask him to do that shit. I talk about, you've got three things. Time, energy, and money. Why the fuck should Rob spend time, energy, and money? Well, yeah, he hasn't spent money, but whatever. He's losing money by spending time on my behalf. He needs to focus on his goals. And he's my friend, and I care about him, so I want him to reach his goals, to focus on his goals. So really, I've been holding that dude back. Every minute he's spent helping me is a minute he could have been furthering his own goals. So that's why I'm bringing in this other person. Their skill set's completely different than mine. They're very cross the T's, dot the I's. I'm kind of Wild West, shoot from the hip. I get shit done. I take massive action, and the other person's just more steady. And the office needs steady. The office needs to be organized, systems set up in place, and things like that. That when I was there, I didn't really need, because I could keep track of everything, but the office will benefit from this new person and their totally different personality and totally different leadership. They're 180 degrees from me, and that's a great thing. I think it's exactly what the company needs right now. So I still own the company. I work the deal out financially with the new person and all that, but I don't need it. I have other sources of income, so God forbid it's a flop and it goes nowhere, people don't respond, don't like, or quit. I'm still fine. But more importantly, I think she will succeed. I think she's got the tools. I'll help her succeed. I'll make sure she succeeds. And in doing so, One Realty Corp lives, and not only lives, but grows. Because that's the other thing, is with everything on Rob's plate, we've gone from 50 agents down to 35. That's not Rob's fault. A lot of that is because they can't talk to Papa anymore, right? Like I said, I've come to realize over the last year that my caring about them and giving them advice and helping them as friends was a big part of the attraction to staying. They came for the cheap commission payment to the broker, they stayed because it was a family. Well, with me not there, it's not a family anymore. I get it. I understand completely. So this new person now, mommy, is going to come in and take daddy's place and be empathetic and listen to their problems and just be a steady guiding presence in the office. And I think the company's going to grow again because of that. And I don't have a number like 100 agents. Like, as I mentioned, it was hard to have that family vibe at 50. But we want to get 40 to 50 producing agents. When we had 50 agents, and Rob and I did the 1099s, the taxes at the end of the year, 21 had produced, which is outstanding. You find me another real estate company where half the agents produced. It's impossible. They have 140 agents in the Fleming Island office of Keller Williams. 70 did not produce, I promise you. So it was a good ratio. But still, that meant we had almost 30 agents on who didn't do a deal, didn't produce. What the hell's that? Why are they hanging their license? I don't want them. If they're not going to do anything, they're not contributing anything, what are they there for? I got to ask that person, why are you paying NEFAR $1,000 a year for what? You're not making any money with your license. You're not using your license in any way, shape, or form. What's the deal? How can I help you? How can I make that where you didn't do a deal at all last year not true? Moving forward. So anyway, that's what's happening. Once again, this seems very timely because I just the feedback I got from the Zoom meeting more than the technical stuff was they were just happy to talk to me, happy to see me, happy to talk to me. They've been missing that personal touch. Greg's in Thailand, that's great, but here he is on the Zoom call. And what I realized is I probably should have been doing those once a month, like we used to do the monthly meeting. My bad. Once again, I am a flawed person. Do not think for 1 minute because I'm reading from the book and putting out this information, I'm perfect. I am not perfect. Far from it. And that's one of the mistakes I've made over the last year, was not communicating and getting in front of my people, my troops, enough. Once a year is not enough. I really need to talk to them once a month, if not more. Once again, they email me. Some have my line ID. I've talked to some, but I need to talk to all. I really do need to talk to all. So, my bad. New broker is going to be in June, and I think things are going to go well. Other great news, I rented the investment condo yesterday. Remember I told you it's been sitting and I was thinking about selling it. I went up to show it. The guy was 40 minutes late. I was in my truck about to leave because he stopped responding to my text. He showed up and he bought it. He rented it. He had the deposit. He had cash, first month rent deposit. I made up a lease, sent it to my girl because in Thailand all leases must be in Thai. So you can write it in English, but then it's got to be translated to Thai. So she's going to translate for me. So it's legal. And, I read all the legal shit because I've never done a lease in Thailand before. So I read all the requirements by law. It has to include this. It has to include that. I cut and pasted into a Word document, and then I replaced the requirements with the information to make sure I covered everything in this illegal lease. And once again, is a realtor. Thank God for is so freaking awesome. So she'll take a look at it too, because she's a lot more familiar with Thai leases than I am. But I think I got all the requirements, wrote it in English, sent it to her, and I should get it to the tenant today, Sunday. But he's already moved in. I gave him my keys, and he's ready to go. He's in. He's happy. He works close to the place up in Sansai. He worked close to the condo, so for him it was saving him 45-minute commute because he was Hangdong, half an hour south of here. So to drive to work was a real pain in the butt, and so now it's going to be a 5-10 minute commute instead of 45-minute commute. So that's good news. And once again, not making a tremendous amount of money, well, $100 a month US, 3,000 baht, but just income. You want to get the income started. You want to start getting money put into your bank automatically, building wealth. There's no secret. You guys know how to do it. I'm doing it. And at the end of the year, I'm hoping this whole fucking COVID lockdown bullshit is over, and I might sell it at that point for 600, 650, 700, whatever. We'll see what the market's at. But I know the market's going to be above 400 because the market's above 400 right now. I will make money on that place when I sell it. Meanwhile, I'll make 3,000 baht a month. So why not, right? All right, guys, that's it for today. Once again, Napoleon's dead on, and eerily, it's appropriate for what's going on, because I literally had that Zoom call. Today is Sunday. I had it Friday night. And it was Friday morning for the folks back home. Yep. Be good. Take care. Follow these nuggets. Follow this philosophy. You'll be successful.